Slick.
Wait till that mother start hitting that body.
Yeah.
Alvarez hit
different.
that mother body.
Look how slick. Mike, look how slick he is.
Oh, he's gonna get
in August of 2024 against Israel Madrimov to make him a 4-division champion. That's it. That's all. He hasn't fought since then.
Look, with Crawford, I think gaining too much weight and too much muscle might affect them. If they're thinking of surviving and being able to take a punch and being able to go rounds.
Mike Tyson warns Terence Crawford after joining Canelo Alvarez at the press conference, stating Crawford is far too small to compete with Canelo. Tyson insists there is no realistic chance for Crawford to win against the Mexican champion and believes the matchup is one fans have little interest in seeing. His comments add a sharp edge to the pre-fight discussion.
That Terence Crawford is simply too small and doesn't have a chance to beat Canelo Alvarez. I am Mike Tyson. He says that this is a fight that nobody calls for. It's just simply too much of a size difference. Shannon Briggs is the believer in styles make fights, skill set, and the skill set of Canelo Alvarez versus the skill set of Terence Crawford favors the skill set of Terence Crawford, not only just to win, but to possibly stop Canelo Alvarez for the first time in his career. Now, Canelo Alvarez is a first ballot Hall of Famer. Terence Crawford is a first ballot Hall of Famer. Terence Crawford is 4-division champion, undefeated, 2-division undisputed champion. Canelo Alvarez is a 4-division champion, 2-time undisputed super middleweight champion, and reigning undisputed super middleweight world champion with a record of 63 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws, 39 wins by way of knockout.
Gabe Rosado, a respected veteran of the boxing world, shared his perspective on the potential clash between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. In Rosado's view, Crawford lacks the power necessary to truly hurt Canelo. He acknowledged Crawford's technical skills, movement, and precision, but emphasized that against a fighter as strong and physically imposing as Canelo, those attributes might not be enough. Rosado pointed out that Canelo has faced and absorbed the punches of some of boxing's hardest hitters without breaking, which raises doubts about Crawford's ability to cause real damage. For Rosado, the gap in physical strength and durability.
So I don't see how Crawford could hurt Canelo, because Canelo's been in there with Kovalev. He's been in there with Bivol. You know what I'm saying? He's been in there with big punchers. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, how can a guy that's really a 47-pounder, even though he's up in weight, I don't see how he can hurt Canelo. You know what I'm saying? It just feels completely, because your body is different to absorbing a bigger blow. So, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, when I sparred the guys in the lower weight classes and they hit me, bro, it's like, no disrespect, but it just feels like you get hit with a pillow. It's just different. It could be a murderous puncher at 147, but if I'm walking around 185 and I'm a solid guy and I'm used to fighting guys, you know, with a different kind of power, and I spar a guy that's a welterweight, it feels like a pillow.
Boxing commentator Showbiz, the adult, offered a clear and direct opinion on the matter. He does not believe Terence Crawford can defeat Canelo Alvarez. His reasoning stems from a combination of size, strength, and stylistic mismatches. Showbiz noted that Canelo's experience against elite opposition across multiple weight classes has given him a skill set uniquely suited to neutralizing fighters like Crawford. While acknowledging Crawford's versatility and boxing IQ, Showbiz argued that these qualities alone would not be enough to counteract Canelo's power and ring control. In his view, the matchup heavily favors Canelo, and Crawford.
Spaceman Films. What up, Biz? Who you got? Canelo Crawford?
Yeah.
Got Canelo. I heard the punches that he hit Charlo with. I don't know if Crawford can absorb those punches. I know he's a great man and a great warrior. But you come from 147 to put on a better fight than Charlo. I mean, I don't even know what that means. I don't know if that means that Crawford is so great and he can do that, or that means that Charlo set the bar so damn low that anybody could do better than Charlo did last night.
Do skill really pay the bill? Because that would be tested.
Pay the bill. That's why Canelo's skillful too.
Robert Garcia expressed concerns about Crawford's decision to put on significant weight to face Canelo. Garcia explained that rapid or substantial weight gain can have serious consequences on a fighter's speed, stamina, and overall sharpness in the ring. He warned that the extra mass might slow Crawford down, diminishing one of his greatest advantages, his quickness. Garcia also addressed the comparisons some people have made between Crawford and Floyd Mayweather, calling them misguided. He stressed that Mayweather never bulked up in the same way to face larger opponents, and his success against bigger fighters was based on speed and technique rather than size. According to Garcia,
Look, with Crawford, I think gaining too much weight and too much muscle might affect them if they're thinking of surviving and being able to take a punch and being able to go rounds, then they're trying to maybe go the distance and they'll be happy with that. But I think Crawford's natural talent, Mayweather had it. You know, you guys were just mentioning right now that he doesn't. Crawford Mayweather never needed to gain weight and never needed to be heavy to be able to beat those bigger guys. I think Crawford's skills. We give Crawford a chance because we know how good he is, how his skills, his speed, his combinations. But if he's gaining so much weight, he might not be able to do those. He might not be able to have those same skills when it comes to his speed, his footwork because of the weight. So we'll see. I just hope he's not just training and getting big to survive and go the distance because maybe that's a win for him. Maybe he's thinking if I go the distance with him, that's a big win for me. So I just hope not. I expect Crawford to actually pull up some runs and maybe even pull up the fight. But if he's too heavy, too big, he's gonna get hit, and he's gonna have to exchange punches, and that's where the danger comes in.
Gary Antuana offered high praise for Canelo Alvarez's mastery of his own boxing style. He described Canelo as a fighter who fully understands his strengths and knows how to maximize them in every bout. In Antuana's opinion, Crawford cannot simply take away what Canelo has spent years perfecting. From defensive head movement to well-timed counterpunches and body shots, Canelo's skill set has been refined through top-level competition. Antuana acknowledged that Crawford is an adaptable and intelligent fighter, but stressed that Canelo's ability to impose his style makes him a particularly tough challenge.
Canelo, he has mastered his style. Now, typically, Latinos, they got their own style versus melanated black people. Having like more rhythm, more flashiness and panache to their stuff, more swag.
Yeah.
We just fight different than other ethnicities. If you want to throw Amir Khan in there, his ethnicity, he was in and out.
Yeah, that's the European kind of style.
Textbook, but that was his style. Canelo got his style and he mastered it. Terence Crawford cannot take nothing away from him. He's like freakishly good, he go both sides, southpaw, orthodox, and I feel like he adapt well. But it don't take much to get hit, especially these little 8-ounce gloves. He cannot slip up. He cannot slip up. He gonna have to stay set from bing to bing from round 1 to 12, and he better be in shape. Yeah. I'm talking about like not 12-round shape. I'm talking about like 16-round shape.
Former world champion Chris Algieri provided insight into the challenges fighters face when moving up in weight. He explained that gaining size changes the way a fighter feels in the ring, affecting timing, movement, and endurance. Algieri noted that while Crawford might look bigger on fight night, the additional weight would not necessarily translate into increased strength or power. He emphasized that fighting at an unfamiliar weight can be tricky, especially against an opponent who is comfortable at that size. According to Algieri, while Crawford's skill level remains world-class, the physical adjustment to a heavier frame could influence his performance, particularly.
So that's another aspect of that comparison. And yes, to exactly what the champ said, exactly what Abel Sanchez said, you're going to put on weight, you're going to be a different fighter. And I can say this even as a fighter as myself, as I've gotten heavier in my retirement, I try and move around the gym, it just feels different. And even when you start camp, you feel different in the beginning than you do at the end. But listen, we're still 4 or 5 weeks away. I don't know exactly what Terence is weighing right now. And even if he does say what he weighs, man, he's gone out there and said he's weighed, all types of crazy numbers just to get media to respond. So it's really not really going to know until the fight and we see these guys next to each other. He might look bigger right now, but he might not be that heavy. He might still be in the range that these guys are targeting for the fight itself. But I will say this, if you look at it historically, Floyd Mayweather, when he fought Canelo Alvarez, Floyd was 36 years old. Canelo was a young man. I think he was 21 or something like that, or 23, under 23, whatever the case may be. Floyd came in how Floyd always comes in. He didn't try to put on weight for that fight. I think he came in 150 pounds, like he always did in his big fights, and even at 36 years old. And it was his speed, it was his technical proficiency, it was his skill and his jab, which is what gave Canelo fits all night long and eventually why he lost 11 rounds to 1. So I don't know that Crawford really needs to be packing on this muscle. And I have actually argued in my own head. I'm like, yeah, but he's older. He's not Floyd. Floyd was 36 when they fought.
A boxing analyst weighed in with a strong position that Canelo Alvarez will not lose to Terence Crawford. The reasoning was straightforward. Crawford cannot hurt Canelo, and without the ability to earn his respect through power, the fight becomes an uphill battle. The analyst added that Crawford is unlikely to withstand Canelo's heavy punches over the course of 12 rounds, given the physical difference between the two. The combination of Canelo's proven chin, strength, and ability to control range could leave Crawford struggling to mount a sustained offense. While respecting Crawford's accomplishments,
before Pound was the undefeated phenom. He said that he sparred Canelo Alvarez, and he hit Canelo Alvarez with his best shot. His best shot. There's a power puncher. Yeah, he's smaller than Canelo Alvarez, but let me further explain. Canelo Alvarez didn't feel nothing. Nothing. And some of y'all gonna be like, but yo, that's Virgil Ortiz, he's smaller. Canelo Alvarez didn't feel nothing with Triple G. Canelo Alvarez didn't feel nothing versus Kovalev. Kovalev killed the man in the ring. Canelo Alvarez didn't feel nothing with Danny Jacobs. Canelo Alvarez wasn't even demoralized by Dimitri Bivol. He just got outboxed. He didn't hurt Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez, you see how we say iron Mike Tyson? Well, Canelo Alvarez has an iron chin. Terence Crawford. And also, put it this way, after the fight with Jermell Charlo and Canelo Alvarez, and I spoke to Jermell Charlo. Jermell Charlo basically said that, yo, Canelo Alvarez couldn't feel my punches. I hit Canelo Alvarez with 2 left hook and he didn't even feel nothing. Jermell Charlo was Iron Man Jermell Charlo, the 154-pound undisputed. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he's not active right now, but we all know he was an undisputed, a knockout artist that got all his belt by knocking out every opponent to become undisputed, ladies and gentlemen. Canelo Alvarez has gotten hit with the most devastating punches in his generation, 175 and 160. Fought the likes of Kirkland that was known for power.
former boxer and commentator, gave a detailed breakdown of the matchup. He pointed out that Canelo Alvarez is younger than Terence Crawford, which in boxing terms can play a significant role. In addition to age, Willie D highlighted Canelo's height advantage, which could allow him to control the distance and dictate the pace of the fight. He stressed that age and size are not just numbers. They affect reflexes, recovery time, and the ability to absorb punishment. Willie D's assessment suggested that Crawford would face multiple layers of distance.
It's 34, Bud is 37. So you give that edge to Canelo, because in boxing, youth is a commodity. Height, Canelo is 5 feet 7.5 inches tall. Terence Crawford is 5 feet 8 inches tall. So you give the slight edge to Terence Crawford right there. The reach, Canelo is 70.5 inches tall. Terence Crawford is 74 inches tall, which gives him an almost 4-inch reach advantage. Their weight, Canelo is a middleweight and Bud is a lightweight middleweight. Records, Canelo is 63-2-2, 39 knockouts. Bud is 41-0 with 31 knockouts. Canelo's last fight was a victory over William Skull. It was a unanimous decision on May 3rd, 2025. Bud last entered the ring on August 3rd, 2024 where he defeated Israel Madrimov.
John Ryder, having faced Canelo Alvarez in the ring, offered a candid assessment of how a potential clash between Canelo and Terence Crawford might unfold. Drawing from his own experience, Ryder explained that Canelo's style is built on relentless yet calculated pressure, the kind that gradually breaks opponents down both physically and mentally. He emphasized that Canelo's strength is not just in his power, but in his ability to maintain an unyielding pace while controlling the fight's rhythm. Ryder noted that even skilled and determined fighters can struggle to keep up when every exchange feels like a test of endurance and resilience.
I think you just got to watch the Bivol blueprint, the in and out. I mean, a lot of fighters getting stick now for being runners, Tom and Jerry and whatnot. But stick to what you're good at. Terence Crawford is an exceptional talent. He's won titles through the weights, undisputed at, what was it, 3 weights now. And listen, if anyone can do it, it's him. I think the weight will be too much of an issue. Canelo is a special talent. And I think the weight will play a factor in the fight. But listen, Canelo once done it and made the step up to super middleweight. I would like Crawford to be more at light middle and middle to build into it, but you take these opportunities when they come, and that's what greatness is, chasing it.
Yeah, and I've heard that before. Like some people said if you see him at 154, he fought a Madrimov, and you saw how much he got touched. Obviously, it's 2 different fighters. But why do you think he should probably? You think he should have probably taken another fight, maybe at 160 or maybe another one at 168?
You need to build into it a bit. I think the fight with Madrimov was his first fight at
154.
At 154, and listen, you're still developing and growing into that weight. You could have done with a couple more there, then moved up to 160, but it's all being done as a bit of a rush. So he's not going to be fully. He's not going to have time to put the muscle on to build into the weight, and he's obviously going to do it with the intention of getting back down to 154 and taking on other challenges. So it's not a long-term goal for him to stay there, but like I say, Terence Crawford is an exceptional talent. I remember watching him beat a good friend of mine, Ricky Burns, and it's like since that day I was just, my ears pricked up and I took notice, and every time Terence Crawford boxed, I watched.
While many voices lean heavily in Canelo's favor, Coach Anthony offered a more cautious take. He acknowledged that Canelo is the naturally bigger and more experienced fighter at higher weight classes, but he also warned against underestimating Terence Crawford. Anthony pointed out that Crawford's ring IQ, adaptability, and ability to switch stances could present unique problems. He argued that while Canelo has faced many great opponents, Crawford's combination of timing, angles, and finishing instinct makes him a legitimate threat. According to Coach Anthony, dismissing Crawford entirely would be a mistake.
Okay, but we have to break some things down into perspective here. First and foremost, Terence Crawford is a very strong 147 pounder. He's not a regular guy. He's not a regular 147 pounder. Another thing is, he's an extremely determined fighter. That guy's a winner. He's cut from the same cloth as the Andre Wards, the Floyd Mayweathers. You only get certain fighters that come across in a decade that have that kind of aura and that kind of determination to win. Now, if we want to break it down fundamentally, don't get me wrong, Canelo is a strong fighter. You know, he's proven himself. He got a great chin. He's fought some of the best fighters that you can ask for. But he's not that much bigger if you ask me. They're about the same size and height. Now, don't get me wrong. He's a little bit wider. He's a little bit, thicker, right? Like, as far as his frame goes. But we got to be honest here, man. He's not that. It's not like we're fighting Benavidez here, okay? We're fighting a guy that he can still get his jab off. He can still use his footwork. He can still use his defense to go ahead and evade some of these punches. You know what I mean? So for me, Terence Crawford is going to be, if Canelo goes in there and underestimates Crawford's strength, that could be a mistake, okay? It only takes a few pounds of pressure to hurt a guy. You don't need to be that big of a guy to hurt a guy. So, at the end of the day, Crawford is a threat as well if Canelo goes in there and overestimates his weight and his size. I've seen bigger guys get knocked out by smaller guys in the gym all the time with headgear on and 16-ounce gloves. So we have to just take a few things into account when it comes to that.
What is your pick for this legendary matchup? Let us know in the comments